Welcome to primary flight control. Just think of this as the military version of the tower at Lindbergh Field. Except here what we do have, we have an air boss. And an air boss is a commander, he's a pilot, he's been a squadron leader, and he is responsible for everything you see on the 4¼ acre deck below you, the hangar deck below that, 5 miles surrounding the carrier and 2,500 feet above the carrier. During a flight operation, he would be responsible for all recoveries of aircraft. But sitting next to him would be a mini-boss, and a mini-boss is also a commander and a pilot, but he's here to learn. And it takes about a year for him to be qualified for that position. But while he's here, he's also responsible for launches of aircraft. This board in front of you, it's called a land launch status board. It's turned around this way and it's written from behind, and pretty much it has the names of all the pilots, their mission, their type of plane they're in. And here at the Midway, though, those names are either been prisoners of war, missing in action, or killed in action. We want to keep their names in front of us to remember the sacrifice they've done to give us the freedoms we have today. To the left over there, you can lift up in those containers, and during a flight operation, the air boss would be able to call over there if he needed any information, because there would be like a junior flight officer from each squadron over there, and all the information and all the aircraft are in there. Up here with all these panels, the one on the far right is for the lights on the carrier. This panel here with those wheels, the first 3 wheels are for those 3 arresting wires that cross the deck that stop the aircraft. And the 4th one is for a barrier. So what happens is when those aircraft are coming back, they weigh way less than when they left. They have less fuel, less armament. So the new weight for each plane is recorded down below, set at their maximum weight, and it'll show up here so the air boss knows he's ready to take that aircraft on. But also how that plane's landing, it's not landing like at an airport, coming in and coming in slow. Here, it's coming in on an angle of attack, which means it's going to hit one spot on the deck. He wants it to be the 2nd wire. So how that happens, these are pre-programmed for each particular aircraft. That will automatically set the gyroscopes for a 3/4 degree angle. So that would mean if it's set that way, his tail hook will be 12 inches above the deck in order to grab it and stop it. What the aircraft carrier is using in the daytime for their planes is a lighting system. At night they use coming by radar, but in the daytime it's a lighting system. It was invented by a Frenchman, and it's called the Fresnel light system. And as you go off, there's a white helicopter, and to the right there's a big board, and you can play with all the numbers on there because it'll show you exactly what the pilot is looking for from about 3/4 mile out. He wants all those lights on that board to be green, but coming down the center there's 5 boxes. So he wants that center box to be lit. If he sees it's lit, he calls the meatball, and then he knows he's on the right glide path. But he is coming in at 150 miles an hour. So at the far end of the carrier, there's a landing signal officer, and he's watching him because he can tell if he's coming in too high or too low. He may be coming in too fast. So he can correct him with hand signals or even on voice. But for some reason, if he's not going to be able to make it, he has a switch, they call it a pickle switch. So when he pushes that, all those lights start flashing. Pilot is at 150 miles an hour, so now he just goes to the left of the carrier, goes off to the side, and comes back in line. Because up to 1955, all carriers were straight line carriers, which means all your aircraft were parked up front. So if a plane came in, and we had 14 wires to stop the plane, plus about 10 barriers, if all that missed, you'd hit all those aircraft up front and explode. So the British came up with the idea with a little bit of an angle. We made it 11 degrees, and today it's 14. With that, we're going out the door, down the ladder, and we're going to go into the chart house if you follow me.